Let's get brutally honest for a second. Most men are terrified of being exposed in the bedroom, not by a camera, not by a secret, but by their own performance. And not because they don't want to satisfy their partner, but because they can't last long enough to even get there. But here's the part no one's brave enough to say out loud. You've been lied to. Yes, lied to by magazines, social media, health gurus, and even those sketchy ads promising stamina in 7 days with overpriced pills that do nothing but wreck your body long term. Here's the truth. If you need pills to last longer, you're not solving the real problem. You're just numbing it. And like anything you numb, it gets worse with time. Now, this is where it gets uncomfortable, but also where it gets empowering, because you can take back control and you don't need a single pill to do it. No risky drugs, no shady supplements, no embarrassing trips to sketchy clinics. Everything you need is already built inside you. You just haven't been taught how to use it until now. This video isn't about magic. It's about understanding how your body and mind work as a man, and using that knowledge to improve your performance in a way that's natural, sustainable, and actually makes you feel like you're in control again. Let me ask you something. Why is it that when it comes to physical training, we're told to work hard, be consistent, and build strength, but when it comes to bedroom stamina, we're expected to swallow a pill and pray? No one teaches men how to train for endurance during sex. No one teaches men how to manage mental pressure in those high-stakes moments. No one talks about the real techniques that athletes, martial artists, and even ancient warrior cultures used to build control over their bodies, especially their sexual energy. Until today. This isn't about shame. This is about reclaiming power in an area of life where a lot of men feel weak and are too embarrassed to talk about it. Let's make something crystal clear before we go any further. Struggling to last longer does not make you less of a man, but staying ignorant about it does. This is your chance to break that pattern. Because the truth is, lasting longer isn't a gift, it's a skill. And like any skill, it can be learned, trained, and mastered. What I'm going to show you in this video are 5 powerful, natural techniques that you can start using today to take full control, without ever popping a single pill. These techniques are based on biology, psychology, and performance strategies used by high-performing men in many areas of life. No fluff, no fake promises, just real, proven approaches. And before you even think about skipping this, understand something. This is not just about sex. This is about your confidence, your focus, your control over your own body. It's about walking into every intimate moment with the mindset of a man who knows exactly what he's doing and why. So if you're tired of the quick fixes, tired of the silence, tired of hoping your next encounter doesn't end too soon, then pay attention. Because by the end of this video, you'll know more about how to truly last longer, naturally, effectively, and confidently, than most men will ever learn in their lives. 1. The truth about fast finishers. It's in your mind, not your body. Let's break a myth wide open. Lasting longer isn't just about physical strength or stamina. It's not about how often you hit the gym or whether you can bench 200 pounds. It's not even about how healthy you are. The real issue starts in your head. It's a mental game. And most men are losing before they even get started. Here's why. When you're about to be intimate, there's usually a cocktail of emotions bubbling under the surface. Nervousness, excitement, fear of judgment, pressure to perform, overthinking. That mental chaos speeds everything up. Your brain sends stress signals to your body, and your body responds by going into overdrive. This isn't random. It's a biological survival mechanism. Your nervous system is split into 2 gears: sympathetic, fight or flight, parasympathetic, rest and relax. Guess which one helps you last longer? The parasympathetic. That's the calm, controlled state. That's when your heart rate stays steady, your breathing is slow, and your body is fully present. But here's the problem. Most guys flip the switch to sympathetic mode the moment things start heating up. Why? Because they're not mentally in control. They're caught up in performance anxiety, pressure, and unrealistic expectations. Now let's be real. Nobody teaches this. No one tells you that what's happening in your head is what's making you finish faster than you want. We're told it's just a physical problem, that you need to train harder, eat better, or worst of all, take a pill. But if your brain is in panic mode, none of that matters. Let's go deeper. Imagine you're about to give a big presentation in front of 100 people. You know your material, you've practiced, you're physically ready. But the moment you step on stage, your heart starts pounding, your mouth dries up, your thoughts scatter. Sound familiar? That's not because your body isn't ready, it's because your mind isn't under control. Same thing happens during sex. You get overwhelmed by the situation, you overthink every move, and before you know it, it's over too fast. Now let's flip that. Let's say you walk into that same room, but this time you're calm. You've trained your mind to slow down. You control your breathing. You speak with focus. You don't rush. You don't panic. You deliver exactly what you came to do. That's the power of mental discipline, and it's the same exact skill that will help you last longer in the bedroom. Let's talk about what happens the moment a man loses control mentally. He starts to focus on the finish line instead of the moment. He rushes. His breathing gets shallow. His muscles tense up. His brain starts thinking, don't finish yet. But that only makes things worse. And boom, he's done before he even had a chance to enjoy it. This isn't about willpower, it's about training your mind to slow down when everything in your body wants to speed up. Here's what most guys don't realize. Your body listens to your brain. If your brain is racing, your body will too. So how do you fix this? Let me give you something powerful and simple. The 1-minute reset. Next time you're with your partner and you feel things escalating too fast, pause for just a moment. Don't make it awkward. Don't apologize. Just slow everything down. Focus on one deep breath, then another, then one more. Pull her closer, make eye contact, be intentional, take control of the pace. What you're doing in that moment is shifting your nervous system back into calm mode. You're telling your body, we're not rushing this, we're enjoying this, we're in charge. That tiny shift can give you minutes of extra control because your brain is no longer hijacked by panic. The best part? She'll feel more connected to you in that moment. You're not rushing through her, you're taking your time with her. That confidence and awareness is deeply attractive. Here's the harsh truth. Most men don't finish fast because they're broken. They finish fast because they're mentally untrained. You wouldn't walk into a boxing ring without mental preparation, would you? So why treat the bedroom any different? The mind is where the fight is won. And once you understand that, once you start training your mind instead of blaming your body, you gain an edge that 90% of men will never even realize exists. So forget the nonsense, forget the excuses, forget the idea that you just don't have control. You do. You just haven't learned how to access it yet. And this is the beginning of that power. 2. Why watching? Those videos is destroying your stamina. Let's just call it what it is. You already know what those videos are. You probably watched one recently, maybe today, maybe before this video. Maybe you've watched hundreds, some men, thousands. It feels harmless, right? Just a quick release, a way to relax. Nobody gets hurt, nobody finds out. You tell yourself, it's just stress relief. But here's what no one tells you. The more you watch them, the faster you train yourself to finish. And the weaker your real-life control becomes. That's not a moral judgment. That's science. Let's break it down. Your brain is designed to learn through repetition. Whatever you do often, it builds strong pathways for. So when you're watching a video, skipping from scene to scene, speeding things up just to get that release fast, you're literally programming your brain to associate pleasure with speed. Now imagine doing that every single day, or even a few times a week. Over time, your mind creates a strong loop. Excitement, rush, finish quickly, relief, reset. It becomes automatic. And your body follows that pattern every time, even when you're with a real woman. You may not realize it, but your attention span, arousal control, and emotional connection get completely rewired. You're no longer used to slow build-up, real touch, natural rhythm, or emotional presence. You're used to dopamine on demand, fast-forwarded scenes, quick climaxes, zero effort, and that's why, when the real moment happens, you have no control, because your brain is trained for shortcuts, not connection. Now let's look at what that does to you over time. You get desensitized. What used to turn you on doesn't hit the same anymore. You feel disconnected. Real intimacy becomes awkward, overwhelming, or boring. You lose control faster. Your body responds like it's watching a screen, not being with someone. You feel shame, not just after watching, but after every rushed experience in real life. That mental pattern becomes a trap, and unless you interrupt it, it only gets stronger. Here's a hard truth. Watching those videos doesn't just hurt your mind, it damages your performance. Now some men ask, but if I stop watching, won't I lose my drive? No. What you'll lose is the artificial stimulation. What you'll gain is real sensitivity, control, and connection. Let me paint a picture. Imagine a man who's watched 30 minutes of adult content every day for 5 years. He's trained his brain to climax fast, on command, without effort. Then one day, he's with a real woman. No camera angles, no perfect lighting, no pause button. What do you think happens? His brain panics. It's overstimulated. It doesn't know how to slow down. It doesn't know how to feel, connect, hold back. So he finishes fast, or worse, he disconnects completely. Now imagine the opposite, a man who hasn't watched anything for 60 days. His brain is rewired for reality, he's in control of his attention, he's sensitive to real touch, real presence, real arousal, he can enjoy every second without rushing. That man isn't faking it, he's present. That's the power of retraining your mind. Here's what you can do starting today. Take a break. Try going 7 days without watching anything. Notice how your body reacts. You may feel urges. You may feel uncomfortable. That's the detox. That's your mind starting to reset. Then go 14 days, then 21. The longer you go, the more control you regain, mentally and physically. Here's the best part. When you finally get intimate again, you'll last longer without even trying. Why? Because your brain isn't on autopilot anymore. It's fully present. It's not chasing a rush. It's building a connection. You become a man who's in control, not controlled by habit. And that shift, that's where lasting stamina begins. Not with a pill, not with a trick, but with full awareness of what you're feeding your mind. So if you're serious about lasting longer, you have to stop practicing finishing fast. That means cutting out anything that's training your brain to rush. And nothing trains you to rush more than those videos. It's time to choose real connection over fake stimulation. It's time to choose control over craving. It's time to show up like a man who doesn't need tricks because he's mastered his mind. 3. The muscle. No one trains, but every man should. Let's be honest, most men will spend hours in the gym working on their arms, chest, and abs. They'll lift, flex, count reps, track progress, all for muscles that show off in the mirror, but there's one muscle they completely ignore. And it's not one you'll ever see in the mirror. It's the one that controls everything when it matters most. And the reason no one talks about it? Because most men don't even know it exists. This isn't about vanity. This is about control. Real control. The kind of control that separates a man who panics the moment things heat up from a man who decides exactly when he finishes. The crazy part? You already use this muscle every day. When you're holding it in during a long drive. When you're trying not to embarrass yourself during a laugh at the wrong time. When your body says, now, and your mind says, wait. That's it right there. That silent, invisible strength, the one you never see but feel deeply, is what gives you the power to last longer. But like any other muscle, if you never train it, it stays weak. And if it's weak, it's going to fail you the moment you need it most. Let's keep it real. Every man has been there. That pressure building up too fast. That moment when you know you're about to lose it. That voice in your head saying, slow down, but your body's already gone too far. That's not about lack of desire. That's about lack of control. And control comes from strength, not just physical strength, but internal strength. The kind of strength that doesn't show up on your shoulders or chest, but in those seconds where your body is screaming and you're still calm, still focused, still in control. Here's what separates high-performing men from the rest. They train what no one else sees. They don't just build muscles for looks. They build power where it counts, especially in the parts of life that other men avoid or ignore. And if you're serious about lasting longer, if you're done making excuses, if you're ready to stop depending on luck or hope, then you've got to train that hidden muscle. It's not about shame. It's not about being broken. It's about knowing what you haven't been told. And now that you know, there's no going back. The best part? You don't need a gym. You don't need equipment. You don't need noise, supplements, or anyone else. This strength is built in silence. It's trained in moments no one sees. It's your responsibility. Most men won't do it. Most will keep chasing pills, distractions, and short-term hacks. Most will keep pretending it's not their fault. But not you. You're here for something different. You want control, not excuses. You want endurance, not performance anxiety. You want to show up like a man who knows what he's doing, not one who's praying it doesn't end too soon. That's what this is about. And the sooner you start strengthening what others ignore, the sooner you step into the kind of power most men will never know. 4. Deep breathing. Deep control, and most men get it wrong. Let's be honest, most men don't know how to breathe. Sounds ridiculous, right? You've been breathing since the day you were born. How could you be doing it wrong? But that's exactly the problem. You think because it's automatic, you've mastered it. You haven't. When it matters most, in moments of pressure, pleasure, or intensity, most men breathe like amateurs. Shallow, fast, out of sync, out of control. And that's exactly why they finish faster than they want to. Because whether you realize it or not, your breath is the remote control to your arousal. You speed it up, your body speeds up. You slow it down, your body slows down. It's that simple and that powerful. But here's where most men mess it up. They tense up. They hold their breath. They rush everything. They disconnect from their body. And they don't even realize it's happening. And then when it's over, they sit there wondering why they had no control. Again. Let's call it what it is. You're failing at the most basic part of performance because you refuse to master the basics. And that's the hard truth a lot of men need to hear. You'll spend money on pills, workouts, or some complicated method. But you won't take 60 seconds to train the one thing that could make you last longer immediately? That's not just laziness, it's self-sabotage. If your breath is out of control, you're out of control. It doesn't matter how strong you are. Doesn't matter how experienced. Once your breathing goes wild, your body follows. Your timing collapses. Your focus disappears. You finish early. Again. It's time to wake up. This is the stuff you were never taught as a man. Not in school. Not by your dad. Not by your friends. But now that you know better, you have no excuse. You've got to stop breathing like a boy who's panicking and start breathing like a man who's in charge. Slow, grounded, focused, deliberate. That's the rhythm of someone who leads, not someone who's getting dragged along by the moment. It's not about being some Zen monk or meditation expert. It's about owning your space, owning your body, owning your moment. And until you master your breath, you'll always be at the mercy of your body. You'll keep losing control when it matters. You'll keep getting frustrated. And deep down, you'll keep feeling like something's off, but won't know why. Now you do. Control your breath or lose control altogether. That's the rule. That's the game. And if you're serious about lasting longer, without shortcuts, without tricks, you need to start breathing like a man who actually wants to stay in control. Because anything less, that's not stamina, that's just luck. And you deserve better than that. 5. Touch her less, control more. The power of strategic teasing. Here's something most men don't want to hear. You're doing too much, too soon. You're rushing, touching too fast, moving too quickly, trying to impress, trying to perform, trying to prove something. And in that rush, you lose control. Here's what no one tells you. Lasting longer isn't just about what you do. It's about what you don't do. It's about learning the discipline of holding back. That's where strategic teasing comes in. Most guys think if they slow down, she'll get bored. Wrong. The opposite happens. When you tease, when you touch less, when you pause, when you pull back at the right moment, you create tension. You build anticipation. You flip the script. You're no longer chasing the moment, you're controlling it. And that control, it helps you stay in rhythm. It buys you time. It keeps your arousal level in check so you don't peak too early. Because here's the truth. When you go all in too fast, your body catches up with your mind, and that's when things end before they should. But when you slow down intentionally, when you switch between intensity and pause, when you lead the pace instead of letting it lead you, you stay in control. And she feels that. You're not reacting, you're guiding, you're not performing, you're present, you're not racing to the end, you're stretching the moment. That's what mastery looks like. Not tricks, not speed, just presence, control, and timing. Most men touch too much because they're insecure. They're scared of silence, scared of stillness, scared of not doing enough. But the real ones know, holding back is a weapon. And when you learn to use it, you don't just last longer, you leave her craving more. Let's end this with a hard truth. A truth that most men will avoid, deny, or flat out reject. But I'm going to say it anyway. If you're not lasting long enough, stop blaming her body. It's your mind that's weak. Yeah, I said it. And before you get defensive, really sit with that for a moment. Because the second you point fingers, the second you say she was too hot, or she moved too good, or she got me too excited, you've already given up your power. That's what weak men do. Strong men don't blame the moment. They master it. They train for it. They prepare for it just like they would for a fight, a mission, or any high-pressure situation. But sadly, that's not what most men do. Most men want to keep blaming everything else except themselves. And that's why they keep repeating the same cycle. Fast finishes, frustration, excuses, silence. And eventually they accept it as normal. But it's not normal. It's just common. And there's a big difference between the two. Because here's the controversial truth. Most men are secretly ashamed of their performance. And instead of fixing it, they just get louder about everything else. They flex harder, they talk bigger, they distract themselves. But deep down, they know. Now, I didn't make this video to shame you. I made it because I've seen too many men walk around carrying this quiet insecurity and pretending they're fine. You're not fine. You're just silent. And silence is killing your confidence. So let's flip the script. Let's make this the moment where you stop pretending and start improving. If this hit a nerve, good. That means it's real. And if you've been through it, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me where you're at in this journey. How long have you been dealing with this? What's helped you? What's still holding you back? I'll be in the comments with you. I want to build a real conversation, not just throw advice at you and disappear. Because if you're serious about this, I've got your back. You don't have to figure it all out alone. So speak up. Take this seriously. Train what others ignore. And become the kind of man who leads with strength, not excuses. No pills, no shortcuts, just mastery. You ready? Let's go.